All right, guys. So this is going to be my review of X-Men Hostile Takeover. This is volume 2 of Jed MacKay's run, and this is basically this book was sent to me by my friend Chris. Thank you as always, brother. And yeah, so today, let's talk about it. Why is this so far behind? Well, I've been meaning to get to it, and I'm going to talk about that when I get to this book. Is that for some reason both volume 2 of X-Men and Uncanny X-Men are weirdly large, girthier than usual most Marvel volumes. You see, with most, they pack 3 to 6 issues. But here, it was like issues 11 to 18, and this one is issues 9 to 16. I get that, like, a lot of it is, like, separate storylines. They couldn't really, like, put them together, but, like, they made these books a lot girthier than one would expect. So I was kind of this mind. I was kind of, like, shocked at this whole thing of, it's kind of shocked that this whole thing is so weirdly put together. But, yeah, this one has at least 2 different storylines. And yes, as you can see, Alpha Flight is here. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, like I said, the comic is divided into 2 different stories. The first one is basically Corsair has landed in Alaska. Remember, in Jed MacKay's X-Men, currently Scott and his team are in Alaska. Gail Simone's Uncanny is in New Orleans. They're all spread out. And I also understand that, like, the X titles are like post Krakoa. A lot of them have been canceled. Well, a lot of them weren't great either. I know Uncanny and the main X-Men title are doing great. I know Phoenix ended. Storm is renumbered. I think they're like X-Men Unlimited is also going to be the new ongoing as well. But yeah, so like I said, Corsair has arrived to try to warn Scott that that basically a lot of mutant bounty hunters are after Scott because they want to use him to use as a bargaining chip against Jean. Well, Alpha Flight shows up, and I have to be honest. I feel like Jed MacKay wrote this 2-part story because it's kind of nothing. It's just it feels like Jed MacKay really wants to write Alpha Flight. Like that's the crux of that storyline is that he really, and I do stress really, clearly likes Alpha Flight and wants to write an Alpha Flight book. Like it just feels like the backdoor pilot for Jed MacKay's Alpha Flight. That's really what this story is. Then we have, for some reason, they keep the X-Manhunt. And this is the same thing with, like, I had the problem with Storm, and also this has that storyline in there, too, where for some reason they have the issue of the X-Manhunt event. It's all collected in one trade, but, like, I figured they would at least skip that issue. They usually do when it's an event tie-in. They usually take those issues out. So I feel like we're unnecessary longer. And also, like, it's kind of confusing if you just buy this book and didn't read X-Manhunt or the other X titles in trade. But whatever. So yeah, I feel like that was unnecessary. You could just easily skip that and just be like, go check out X-Manhunt for that storyline. At least with Storm, it makes sense because it actually has it actually connects to what's going on with Storm before we get to the X event, until we get to X-Manhunt. But like here, it's like straight after. But whatever. So the second storyline deals with a mutant child who actually was a parasitic twin inside her sister. She escaped and now controls the flesh of this dead alien. So the X-Men have to stop her, but the main overarching villain of 3K, the evil mutant organization, they basically have Cassandra Nova manipulate her, and also have a lesser-known X-Men villain, Weir, part of the Santa Monica Six, who were a part of this is what I like about Jed MacKay's X-Men. He's using villains that we haven't seen in a while, and he's also known for notoriously using X-villains who are, characters in general that are like D and C list villains, and playing with them. You see that a lot in his Moon Knight. But this also plays to the whole thing of my biggest problem. As much as I think Jed MacKay is a great writer and I love his Moon Knight and a lot of his work, I also feel like he kind of overplays his hand a lot. This has the same problem where it's like it's another anime-esque supergroup that designed to fight each character. We saw it in Blood Hunt. I'm surprised if we saw it in his Doctor Strange run. We saw it in his Avengers run. I'm surprised it's not in his Moon Knight run, if I'm being honest. It's the only place it's not there. That trope is not there. But yeah. So the story is pretty cool of seeing a lesser-known X-Men, seeing a lot of lesser-known X-Men villains. Like one of the villains in the Corsair storyline, the Alpha Flight one, is Dr. Starblood, who was from Wolverine, a deep cut from Spider-Man and the X-Men. That storyline. So I do like it. I do like this series. I love all the interconnection of the team. And yeah, I still enjoy it. I think also this book is just Jed MacKay. Clearly, the one character he likes writing more than anyone is Scott. Like you see a lot of the work for Scott Summers in this book. Like you see, like this book, and I know that's Marvel's new thing of their new opus operandi. Thankfully, of making Scott Summers the main focus as he always should be. And there's a great moment where he's battling this other fake mutant that 3K creates, and he's like, "You only have optic blasts. Why are you the leader of the X-Men?" And he's like, "It's not my superpower is a leader. That's my real superpower." And the moment they take out that guy, I think his name is Schwarzschild or Schwarzkopf or whatever, and he's like, "See, that's the thing. My real superpower is being the best damn leader ever. Let's see what you guys are like without your leader." So, and every time Scott has a moment, it's just like, hell yeah, Scott. And people wonder, this book just shows why Cyclops is my favorite X-Man. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. Chris did send me the third volume, which is the Hellfire Vigil, which is basically the road to Book of Revelations. So yeah. But I think the next X book I will be reading is probably this. Can't really promise, but because, yeah, issues 9 to 16. That's so arbitrary. But anyway, I still like this book. I know I'm super behind on all of it, but yeah. Anyway, so Chris, thank you once again for the book. And you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of X-Men Hostile Takeover? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, the Multiverse.